720-722-76. If you want, you can also dial, email me at info@carm.org, info@carm.org. I want to hear from you. Give me a call. All right, let's see. Oh, I like that. Look at that. Hey, there's I just saw this in my emails. There is a ministry on Facebook. It's Catholic Answers, but it's not from Catholicism. It's from Christians. And someone's been putting in the different questions that Catholics can't answer. And I just put it as a request. Hey, send me that thing. 306. And so they did. It just sent it to me. I like it. I like it. So they'll go through that. A lot of good stuff. Praise God. And like I said, if you want to email me, all you have to do is dial 877-207-2276. Look at these emails. Let's see. Matt, personally, I don't see anything wrong with. Oh, there's something else. Okay, let's see. Okay, listen to the show. Yes, I understand your situation. Yeah, okay, I can't. It's too long a one to get into, so I'll have to get into that later. We do have a caller coming in, I think. And like I said, half-hour show today because on Mondays I have to do my doctorate work for as long as I hang in with it. And there's that. Look at all this stuff that we got going on. So one of the things we're working on is short videos, 1-minute videos, and then videos where I can do on articles. Now, because I know that people listen and they help Carm. They do it in different ways. Someone sent me a set of it's a microphone set right here, and it's really high quality, and it has a base unit. You can hook it up to a camera, or just on your desk, and you put on your lapel, or you can put a lapel microphone in it. And I ordered some microphones because that would fit it, and I tested them today, and oh my goodness, it works so well. I will be able to sit here at my desk and just use this advanced lapel system instead of hooking it up to my computer. And the reason is because I was doing some stuff and I had this lapel microphone, only, $15-20 hooked up to my computer, and I'm working there for 20 minutes editing. I go to stand up and rip the cord out of the thing. No, so I broke that, had to order another one. And then I'm yanking it every time I get up. Like, oh, so I got this thing set up and it's really good. All right. I thank those who are helping out and supporting. We really appreciate it. Whew, man. Hey, how about this? Let's get to Kurt from Charlotte, North Carolina. Kurt, welcome. You are on the air.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, how you doing?
I had a quick question. Doing good. Quick question in regards to the Hamas and the Israel war going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm seeing a lot of protests going on for Gaza, and I guess my thing is, from my understanding, Hamas started this with sending over thousands of rockets.
Yes.
And fortunately for Israel, they had an iron curtain that's set up. So unfortunately, their rockets didn't really hit much.
Right.
Now, is everyone mad because Israel retaliated?
Yes. Yep. And
would this be
mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just stating that, it seems pretty crazy to me, and it's almost seeming like now the world is getting set for the crazy stage. And
it already is.
I'm just trying to put it all together because if someone attacked us, this, I spoke with some individuals. I stated that, when we were attacked at Pearl Harbor, of course, we received losses and such, and we retaliated with the nuclear bombs, of course,
mm-hmm.
and that killed hundreds of thousands of folks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this situation going on, why is Israel seeming like the enemy, and all they're doing is responding to thousands of rockets being sent into their territory?
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, they see. if you're to, people were to look, well, let me address something else. The leftist wackos who think that Israel needs to be wiped off the face of the earth. Israel has a right to defend itself. The British are the ones who occupied the land beforehand. In May 14th, 1948, they ceded it over to the Israelis, and they became a nation. So the area was given by God to Abraham well before Muhammad and the Muslims came along. Hamas is an Islamic militant terrorist group, and they have repeatedly sent rockets into Israel, and they've just been a thorn in the side of Israel constantly. So they came in October, of course, and they killed thousands of people, took hundreds hostages, killed children, pregnant women. It's a terrorist group. And so if I were the president of Israel, I'd be doing the exact same thing. I'd say, go clean them out. Fix it so they'll never do this again. That's what it is. So why are the leftists, complaining about Israel? Well, because they're leftists. Leftism is a mental disorder, and it needs to be in the psychological thing. It is. It is mental disorder. It's socialistic, communist, atheistic brainwashing, and they couldn't think their way out of a wet paper bag. It's one of the reasons I enjoy watching, clips of Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens and other guys. I forget their names. They just clean house on these leftists. They use logic, they use information, they use facts. But you see, what's happened is that the indoctrination in our culture, but through the schools, the conservatives are asleep at the wheel because they're allowing the leftists to take control of the indoctrination, turning them into indoctrination camps, the schools and universities, which are just putting out leftist crap thought. And it's going to divide our country. It's going to help destroy our country. So anyway, Israel has the right and the obligation to go in and make sure it doesn't happen again, so it can protect its own citizenry. That's what needs to happen. And the Muslims, Islam is a militant. It's a very bad religion. It's a religion of death. It teaches killing and it teaches destruction. Yeah, it's bad religion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just want to touch bases with you, man. I'm hearing it all over the media now. So I said, let me call in a Max Slick and just talk briefly as far as letting individuals know who don't know the exact story as far as what's going on, that Israel was attacked first, and they retaliated. That's and now everyone's in an uproar because they're retaliating. But no, it sounds like the stage is being set for revelation, honestly. They said all eyes are going to be set on Israel. It looks like that's what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be it, but you never know. A single match can set a forest on fire. But the thing is, they have the right to defend themselves. And it just blows me away that the stupidity of the left. And I believe basically the Democrats, the Democratic Party, and most of the Republican Party are imbeciles who don't hold to the Constitution and don't uphold it at all, and that they want a different kind of a system. Right. And I believe this. This is my opinion. There's some good people in the groups, but at any rate, with the leftist indoctrination that's occurring in our media, the left has gone through and successfully taken over the indoctrination procedures of the schools and the media and in the news. And so it's extremely hard to get this back. In fact, if you were to go to CARM and look up the 45 goals of the Communist Party that was released in 1963, I believe it was, by the Communist Party, you'll see that I think almost all of them are in place here in America now. It's how to destroy America. It's exactly what's happening. But at any rate, all this is the bedrock and the fertilizer for the leftist view of Israel shouldn't exist and Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself. Israel is the oppressor. No, it's not the case. The Muslims have repeatedly attacked the Israelis, repeatedly done it. In fact, when I was in Israel 5 or 7 years ago, we were up in the northern part of Israel, and we got word back later that day that a rocket had gone over our heads from Lebanon into Israel. So it's it's ridiculous. So Israel is on guard all the time, surrounded by its enemies. So they have the right to go back to destroy Hamas. I think they should, because Hamas is a murderous Islamic militant movement, and the fact that the left does not demonstrate that just shows how bad off our country is. Okay.
You're right about that, Matt. Right. I got to head back into work, but I thank you so much for the convo, Matt.
All right, man. God bless, buddy. All right. Okay. All right. Well, good. Now we gotta, if you could get Drew activated so that I can, I need to figure out how do I activate? Wait a minute, I get over here. It's been a while. There we go. Okay, now it should be working in Clubhouse or Club Deck. It just took a while for me to figure it out. So Drew, let's see, is Drew on? Hey Drew, welcome. You're on the air.
Yes, Matt. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right, man. Hanging in there, buddy. What do you got?
Hey, I actually have it's worked out really, really perfect. The last guy that called in. So my question's about also the conflict over in Israel with Hamas, but specifically I've been reading through Ezekiel. It's such an amazing book, but specifically the prophecy in Ezekiel 38. Mm-hmm. And I just have a question about how that relates and who Gog is referring to, and then the different, lands and countries. And then specifically there's a prophecy around verse 10, I believe it is, that talks about unwalled villages and how they're going to come in. I mean, it literally describes exactly what Hamas did. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on all that.
Yes, people are really concerned and about what's happening in the Middle East. And I'm not sure. I'm no politician. I don't know all this stuff, but I'm not really concerned. I am, but I'm not. I think Israel's going to simply go in there, clean out Hamas, and that's it. It's done. And anybody else who wants to attack them, Israel's going to come back hard. One of the reasons I think Israel is doing this is to send a message to everybody else. You do this, that's what's going to happen. So I think that's what's going on. Is it a fulfillment of the prophecies about Gog, Magog coming down and taking a spoil out of Israel? I don't believe so. And one of the reasons I think it's not yet is because it's supposed to take a spoil out of Israel. And there's different theories about it. Russia and or China coming in, marching along the dried up Euphrates River to come into Israel. That's not yet happened. And there's something else about the Sea of the Dead Sea I'll talk about when we get back from the break. And I think that has to be in place first. I'll talk about that. And we'll be right back after these messages. Hey, we have 3 open lines. If you want to give me a call, 877-207-2276. We'll be right back.
May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Because the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And that is the voice of truth.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager, Learning the Lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time, as in spaghetti sandwiches for dinner. They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
We live in an on-demand world. Time, weather, meals, and content. That's why the Truth Network has the Truth Podcast Network. Some of your favorite Truth Network programs, plus some that are podcast only. Rich content that is rich in the Word.
The Christian Car Guy Podcast with Robbie Dilmore. A broken world means broken down cars. But stick with Robbie, and he'll keep you on all roads that lead to Christ. Fun, friends in the Lord, and testimonies. The Christian Car Guy Podcast with Robbie Dilmore at truthnetwork.com.
It started off as a normal day. I felt fine when I arrived at the plant.
Ruth Junius's life was about to change.
Then I dropped my keys. They kept slipping out of my hand. My arm felt numb. A coworker asked me if I was okay, and I couldn't speak. I started to get scared.
Ruth was having a stroke. People around her weren't sure what to do.
They thought I should go home or lie down, but I knew something was very wrong. I wrote 911 on a piece of paper with my other hand, and someone called for me.
Because everyone acted quickly, doctors at the hospital were able to give Ruth treatment that started to reverse the symptoms.
Within a few minutes, I was talking again. I didn't know a thing about stroke before I had one. Now I make sure that my friends and family know all the signs of stroke, so they'll get help fast if they need it.
No stroke. Know the signs. Act in time. Call 1-800-352-9424 for more information. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. You get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more.
It's Matt Slick Live, taking your calls at 877-207-2276. Here's Matt Slick.
Everybody, welcome back to the show. Just give you a reminder, on Mondays I have to do my doctorate work, and so I'm only going to do a half-hour show today, which means at the bottom of the hour in 10 minutes I got to go. All right, let's get back on with Drew as soon as the guy puts it back on so I can activate him and get him on there because it takes a bit. We have this new system. All right, Drew, welcome. You're on the air, buddy. All right, you still there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Matt? Yes, sir. Still here.
All right, so we had a break there, but one other factor that is something to consider is the Dead Sea is so rich in minerals that I've heard that there's trillions of dollars of value in the water suspended. Once they find a way to extract the water out to a procedure, whatever it is, the technology increases, Israel will become the richest nation in the world. So that's one of the theories. But they don't have the technology right now. I've heard this. I don't know how accurate it is, though. Well, let's just say that it's true. Let's say Israel develops a methodology to do that. Then could it be that at that point the nations are coveting what they have, trying to come in and take what they have? And that's when Israel destroys them all. So that's what, because it says, in Ezekiel 38, they come down to capture and seize plunder to turn your hand again to waste. And so we don't know who or what it is. Son of man, say to Gog, thus says the Lord God, on the day that my people from Israel are living securely, will you not know it? And you'll trip your place. It goes up.
Now, Matt, is it accurate to say that Gog is referring to the Antichrist? That's the Antichrist leader that's going to rise up and lead his horde down into the land to take it and then present himself in the Holy of Holies?
I don't know. I've heard Gog is an ancient short form word for Magog, Moscow, and that there's a relationship of that, but I have no idea. It's just there's so many theories running around, but it does talk about the people coming from the north and then a 200 million man army up out of the dried up Euphrates River. So
it sounds a lot like what happens in Revelation, right?
Yes.
When the Lord, with the breath of his mouth, takes them all out.
And so you see, there's a lot of stuff there, and I've just not studied it that much. But it says that release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. That's in Revelation 9. And let's see what else it says. And the 6th angel poured out his bowl in the great river, the Euphrates, and its water was dried up, so that the way would be prepared for the kings from the east. That's Revelation 16:12. And then it talks about, for real, it really gets me. And then it says, and I saw coming out of the mouth of the dragon, etc., those gathered together for Armageddon. So this is what I think is going to happen. But there's also needs to be, the temple needs to be rebuilt. And it's not rebuilt yet. So I don't think, this is why I don't think that the Hamas thing going on now is it. But we're inching closer. Okay? That's just my opinion. So, but I'm no expert in this. Okay, I'm not an expert.
Well, it was helpful. It's helpful to know, and I just wanted to call in and get your thoughts. So, really appreciate it, Matt.
Hey, no problem, man. God bless, buddy.
God bless you, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's get to Rachel from Utah. Rachel, welcome. You're on the air.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for my call. Just a question. I was reading it and I read it so many times, but I don't understand the story with Sarah and Abraham.
It's a bad connection. So it's.
Let me try this better. Let me try it. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Hello.
All right. Is that better?
Yes, it is. Much better. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. So anyway, there's so Abraham and Sarah, and they're going to Egypt, and the Egyptians see Sarah, and she's beautiful, and they say, okay, I'm going to just pretend you're my sister, and so they don't kill me, and then so then she, and then they give Sarah to the Egyptians for, I don't know, if Abraham gives him all those goods, or the Egyptians give him goods for Sarah or something like that. Just never made sense to me, that story. And then there's an allegory, or I just don't understand why that needed to happen.
What about needed
why he
to
could
happen?
Just call on God protection, or why did that happen? I just don't understand why that scenario happened.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense to my brain. Yeah.
Well, it's just a record of sin. There's lots of things in the Old Testament that are recording events of people doing bad things. David and Bathsheba. Why did that have to happen? Because he sinned. And why did Abraham do this? So he sinned. He wasn't perfect, and he made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah. And then the plague came down on Pharaoh's house because of this, that you're with another man's wife. And then when he found out, it's okay, I'm sorry, and everything was better. Let's just say, I'm skipping stuff, but it went better after that. So that's all. Is right. Abraham blew it. He blew it.
Oh, I see. But why wouldn't he? Why was there not a choice to have him be his wife? What was the laws? I guess I'm asking if the Egyptians, that if the man's married, that you could take their wife and kill the husband. Like, why was that allowed, and not kill the brother and take the sister? Like, I don't understand.
No, I don't know if that's the case. Just because they were pagan, it doesn't mean that they had incredibly bad rules everywhere all the time. So there were different cultures with different rules. Some cultures, I know that wives are given to visitors, because that's what you do in that culture for the night. And other cultures, you don't even go near another man's wife without permission. There's all kinds of varieties all over. And so in Egypt, marriage was, was important, and you didn't go around doing stuff. And so when in Pharaoh's house this was going on inadvertently, and the plagues, the problems came in, then it's like, take care of it. And that's all it was. And
I see. So just to clarify, and I really appreciate your time.
Sure.
So it was possibly the culture that I guess this is the little piece I'm getting. If a man is married to his wife, perhaps the culture was that you could take the wife and kill the husband then?
No, that's murder. He was afraid of that. That's murder.
But he was afraid they were going to kill him.
Yes, because she was so good looking, apparently, and he didn't know their culture, didn't know what was going on. So he blew it. He flat out blew it.
Oh, he just pretended he didn't know their cultures. But why? I wonder why he was afraid they were going to kill him then.
Because she was so good looking, apparently, and they liked her. So
they would kill for her.
Yeah, apparently.
And she was like 70s, because he was 75. So this girl was like, I mean, she must have been in her 70s, right, or something, and still so beautiful, so fair, huh?
But I don't know the
Strange.
I don't know the details, but he was afraid, and he made a mistake. He really blew it.
I see. In his fear, he did something kind of irrational, as people often do when they're fearful.
That's right.
I see.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
Okay. You're welcome. All right.
Okay,
God bless.
bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. Let's get to Shabu. Welcome, Shabu. You're on the air. Are you there?
Hey, why we should pray for Israel? They are not Christians. They're not following Christ. So why they should pray for them?
Because God's not done with them yet. If you go to Romans, we're out of time here, and I got to go for the day. Be back on tomorrow. But read Romans 11:25-26. Romans 11:25-26. God's not done with Israel. We need to pray for him. Okay, we're out of time. Hey, folks, got to do some doctorate work on Mondays, and that's why it's a short show today. We'll be back on the air tomorrow. God bless. Talk to you then.